Hello YouTube, this is Charlie426 and today we have the review of the DX Forceriser from Kamen Rider Zero-One. So this is the belt that is used by the enemies, or at least in the main series, but I believe in the movie promotion they also showed the main character using this to transform into the Proto Zero-One. So anyway, those who still don't know, I am a big fan of the Kamen Rider series. I have been watching them for some time, and I have been buying a lot of SHF figure arts, obviously, but before that I have also been buying a lot of DX belts as well. And this is the latest version I bought. Now, I was about to review this, but my channel got hacked at the moment, or at the time, and I could not review it at the time. But now, since everything is back to normal, I have my own channel back, I think it's a good time to review this right away. So in the series, this is used by the main enemies, Jin and Horobi, at the moment. So if you buy this, it comes with the, as you can see, the DX Progrise key, or at least the Stinging Scorpion, I believe that's what they call it. Of course, in here it's called Sting Scorpion, but I think in the sound effects they just say Stinging Scorpion, and then the ability is Poison. So these are the main gimmicks of the series, the Progrise keys. They are not just a hunk of plastic, they also have their own functionality as well. So we have a button here, and yeah. And here we have the belt itself. It's a pretty small belt than I thought. I mean, I always thought it would be much more bigger, but it's much more smaller than I thought. Battery-wise, I did take off the compartment just to save time. So it requires 2 AAA batteries. So that's pretty good, because I believe there were some belts that require 3 AAA batteries. So, and yeah. And other than that, we get the most basic straps as well. We get the strap cover and then 2 straps for left and right. What's interesting about this belt is that usually most recent Kamen Rider belts that they would have these extra plastic connection points to attach to the belt buckle itself, but this one does not actually have that. So this is just basically literally a strap. So what the good news is that if you're having trouble getting one of those extension straps that are sold very not too often or kind of uncommon, you can always get the Forceriser and then basically just use this. You can just cut maybe about this much and then use this as an extension. So that's actually a pretty good thing if you ask me. Okay, so before we actually turn on this device, let's talk about some extra details. So as I mentioned before, this is pretty small. So I did not buy any merchandise from Kamen Rider Zero, because I don't know. I mean, I did enjoy the series, but I didn't really get the feeling to buy it. So here's the Splash Driver from Kamen Rider Build. I actually have both the Splash Driver and the Build Driver, but here is, and I consider like the Splash Driver to be one of the more average sized belts out there, minus the wrench lengths. So you can see kind of much more smaller and shorter than you think. I mean, the base size is kind of around, like, if you take off the side sections, it's about that size. So kind of gives you a general idea how compact this belt buckle is. In terms of length, let's just check by the ruler. So this is a 20 centimeter ruler, so from the end to tip it's about, let's say, about 17 to 18 centimeters, and in terms of height it seems to be about 12 centimeters, so that's pretty compact if you ask me. Okay, so let's get down to business. So let's turn on the belt. As I mentioned, this is the battery component, and here we have the switch. There's an X and an O. The X means it's off and the O means on, so let's turn it on. Forceriser! So we have a sound gimmick saying Forceriser. Let's check that from the front. Forceriser! And we have a very bright LED. And surprisingly, I did see a few reviews, and I always thought there was some sort of extra clear plastic or lens in front of this in here, but no, it's just literally the LED like device thing that's inside there. You can actually see it. I'm not sure if that's a good thing, to be honest. So I guess I can always modify it if I need to. And then let's see, the build itself, once again, not a hunk of plastic. There's also all these gimmicks going on inside, but it requires a Progrise key. So let's just try to do what. So in the series, they would push or pull this lever to activate. So yeah, you have to be it's kind of tricky. So you have to like pull it very like strong. And if you don't do it correctly, you get that weird, awkward position. There we go. So that's how you're supposed to do it. If you do it in like a pretty wimpy pull, it doesn't really work that well. So yeah. So the name Forceriser of this belt is actually literally what it does. It because in the series, if you want to open these keys, which you can open like this, you need to have some sort of authorization. But there are some characters, of course, they kind of force open this, but this belt itself does that for you. You put it in, and then it will force open the Progrise key to allow the user to transform or use its ability, basically. Okay, so let's talk about the key itself. So let's take a look. It says Sting Scorpion, ability Poison. We can open this section up. There's no actually, well, I wouldn't say this is a spring gimmick, but it does have like a momentum thing going on here. So like that. So on the inside, we can see the Scorpion mech going on here. I guess that's what, I'm not sure what they call the animal terms here, but when you use a Progrise key, like for the Forceriser, it would summon these the Scorpion, and yeah, you can actually see it as well. And then here we can actually see the symbol of the Scorpion. When it's like this, it's kind of not noticeable because of the color, but with here you can actually see the Scorpion shape. Here's the tail, here's the head, everything, and even the claws on the bottom. So that's pretty nice. And here we have the back. There's we have the QR code, which I believe this is meant for the Ganbarise card game in Japan. And here we have the button. So here, let's press the button. There's no on or off switch for this one, unlike Lock Seeds. So keep that in mind. So here we go. And we even have a nice LED gimmick going on here. So if in the first press will say Poison, and then the second will say Scorpion Ability. It will say Scorpion Ability with the extra sound effect going on there. So that's pretty nice. Let's check it one more, and then it will loop back to the first one. So let's look at the wall opened up. So the LED seems to be around here, and I believe this thing itself is a sticker, yeah. Scorpion Ability. And these sound effects are usually very loud. Alright, let's try the transformation gimmick. So usually in this series they would press this once first, and then attach it here. Now this is going to be very loud, so I'm not going to talk. So as you guys just saw, it actually forced open the Progrise key, and you might have seen me actually get my thumb get smacked by here, and it actually hurts a bit. So yeah, it gives out that sound effect, and then for the Forceriser at the end, it also says break down. So I believe you can use pretty much any Progrise key at the same time, but depending on the timing, the breakdown time gimmick might actually collide or collapse with the original Progrise key sound gimmick. Okay. So that's pretty much it for the transformation. So this thing also has a finisher move. There's two. It depends on whether you push it back in and pull it out once or do it twice. So let's do it first. Just do the one-time thing. So if you notice that the sound effects are they sound kind of different. So some of the sound effects are actually coming from the Progrise key itself, while some of them are actually coming from the belt. So when you're actually listening to the sound effects, that could be kind of tricky. So keep in mind. So I believe like the word sting, that actually comes from the Progrise key, but I think like the term dystopia actually came from the belt. So if we do this twice this time right away, I think it would say utopia or something. Okay, sorry about that. Something just came out with my phone, so we'll continue on doing the twice to do the Sting Utopia. So I've done this a few times, and I've noticed it could be just my product could be a little bit faulty or defective in some way. Is that if I do pull this lever and push back in too fast, then for some reason this section right over here won't go fully open, and it will just stop in like the middle section. So hopefully that doesn't happen. So as long as you do it twice, it should do that. But depending on like the term between each opening and closing the key, that you might hear the term sting once. So it really depends on how fast you can do it and whether the belt can handle it as well. So let's give it a try. So as you just saw, we did that and did the Utopia, and then And in the middle, we did hear the term sting. So if you can do it faster, I assume you can just, you know, go over it. But still, that's just basically how it is. And then in order to finish or basically undo the henshin process, all you need to do is basically close this down and then pull it out. And you're good to go. And that was pretty much it for the review of the DX Forceriser. There are much more Progrise keys out there. Some of them that you have to buy with a certain toy. While most of the DX ones, you can pretty much purchase them on their own. But of course, there are very specific ones that are either pre and Bandai, or you have to get them in a very specific event. So yeah, but most of them, but those specific ones are not actually. I mean, they do exist in the show, but they're not actually used in the show. So keep that in mind. Anyways, so thank you for watching, and hopefully if I can get more Progrise keys or something else, I'll also try to make a review of that as well. So until then, see you guys next time!